All right, so we're going to start with stick welding, and we're going to use the exact same machine as we did with TIG, but we've got to push a few different buttons. So first off, we still want to be on DC, and then now we're on process. Before we were using TIG lift arc, and now all we're going to do is hit it over to stick. Pretty simple, right? Well, just like we did on TIG lift arc, on stick we have to make sure our output is on. Once our output is on, our open circuit voltage will read, and then we can come over here to our dial and adjust our amperage. Now basically that's it. We need a stick weld. We want to make sure though our stick electrodes and our stick electrode holder are ready to go. This is what we call a stick lead or a whip. It has a electrode holder on it, a clamp if you will, that will hold our stick electrodes. It has the same style DINS connector, and we're going to swap out the TIG connector and put in our stick connector. So we're going to twist that out, disconnect our gas fitting, wrap that hose up, and then we're going to connect in our stick lead. And now our electrode holder is ready to go. So to recap, we want to make sure we're on DC, stick on the process, output is on. You can adjust your amperage over here. On some of our welds, we'll need to adjust our dig. The dig is on the adjust button, which is all the way over. And we either want it at 30 for when we weld with 70-18, or we want it at 70 when we weld with 60-10. We're going to start welding with 70-18 for our first weld. So you want to make sure that our dig is at 30. And then we hit our main peak button, and we can go back and adjust our amperage. We're going to start welding about 105 to 120 amps. Because we're welding on 3/16 material in the class, we won't need much more than that. If we were welding on thicker material or different size electrodes, we would adjust our amperage. And that's how you set up your stick welder. This is how we're going to find our stick electrodes. We got to come into the tool room. We're going to turn our light switch on. All of our wire and electrodes are on the left bottom side. Our stick electrodes are up on the top shelf. So we have flux cord wire on the left side, and we have MIG wire on the right side, but our stick electrodes are up here in the top. All right. They are 70-18 across here, and then we have some 60-10 and different sizes of 60-10 and 70-18. So make sure you know where to find the electrodes. There they are. We also keep some 60-10 on top of the rod oven and some 70-18 inside the rod oven. Be very careful. It's over 300 degrees inside here. Don't grab any electrodes with your bare hands. Just like with our TIG rod, if you can't handle using all of our stick electrodes properly and we end up with more in this bucket, I will lock the tool room until this bucket has been used up. And we find stick electrodes all over the place, just like we did with TIG rod, so we want to make sure that we use them properly.